this is my biggest concern is that when I say the disconnect, right? And here we go, we go bashing right to that. The biggest concern is the disconnect, right?
Yeah.
And this became very evident to me at Coda last year when we were there. I was down in, I was on hot pit. Now, the garage, you've been to Coda, right? So the garages are on this side of the warm pit. And then there's the hot pit. And then there's obviously the straight. And they have the garages, and all the garages have cable connects, the coax connect, right?
Right.
So every other track we go to, for all the guys who don't get garages that are right on the pit, which is very rare of the rest of them, as opposed to Coda, none of them have garages on the track on hot pit.
Right.
So I go down to go set up my hot pit, right, with the TVs.
Yeah.
And there's no coax line out there on the wall, right? So I'm like, shit, we can't watch the broadcast. We can't watch live timing. We can't do anything because that's all in real time. Right. Everything else you do on your phone is latency. So there's, the video is a minute and a half behind half the time, which is fine because I understand that.
Time delay.
Right. Live timing on your phone is all you have at that point. Now, meanwhile, you got a bunch of people in your hot pit that are watching the screens. So you got to have something for them there. You got to have it there for them. So sure enough, I'm looking up, and then I'm an AV guy, right? I'm audio visual, so I don't see cable anywhere. Right now, I see that there's coax in the garages. So one of the big wigs, I just happened to, one of the white shirts is walking down hot pit, right? So I'm like, oh shit, let me ask, right?
Yeah.
And he turns around. Oh, hey Kevin, how are you? I'm like, I'm good. How you been? I said, listen, there's no coax feeds along pit wall here for any of all of these canopies that are here with all of their TVs, with guys that are standing there with cables, they're going, where am I going to plug this in? They're like, where are we going to plug these? Right. And so I'm like, luckily I got 150 feet of coax. I can run across and into the garage, but they don't have that.
You have 100.
Of course, I'm an AV guy, right? Again, I just go in a warehouse, I pick it off the shelf and I take it with me. So, but everybody else doesn't have that opportunity, right? Or that resource like I do. So he looked at me and he goes, well, he's like, well, you're going to have to call so-and-so because I really can't help you with that.
Oh, thanks.
And I'm like, hold up. Because
aren't you wearing a white shirt?
You're wearing a white shirt.
You make it
right. Yeah. So when I'm on a job, right? If I'm on a concert, right? And I'm walking from mixed position to stage or whatever, and someone in the crowd goes, hey, your subwoofers on this side of the stage aren't working. Right. I'm going to say, hey, I'm going to get right on that and I'll get back with you because you paid X amount of dollars to be here as our customer and I'm going to help you out. Nope. You got to call that one and call that one. And then they said, well, there's coax in the garages. And I'm like, well, I didn't pay for a garage. So John Doe race team, who's got that garage right there, is not going to be real happy about me going into the garage behind their toolboxes and plugging in a coax. So that's the disconnect, right? So that's the disconnect that I'm talking about. Like it's like they don't. There's nothing there like that they're concerned with. Like they got a handful that they're worried about, which is why teams like us are just like, you know what, we're going to go out and have fun. We're not going to, where we go, we go.
We're fortunate, man. It should be the show. It is the professional race series after all.
Yes, correct. And the presentation is there. And every bit of the toolbox is there.